6, and we'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. We have the agenda in front of us. I would call for any additions right now. If there is none, I'd look for a motion to approve.
I would like to discuss my position with the park boards on my portfolio. I mean, it's just something to discuss. I've got questions and I just need some clarification on some things.
Okay. So do we just want to throw that in our park board commission items? Can we
Sure.
discuss it then? Okay. Karen, you had mentioned that we should add Green 19 application for gaming as well at the end. I see that was in the packet. Okay. With those additions, I would look for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Do we need to add anything from the park board for that, the fairgrounds, that payment? That we, our last motion, or are we just bundling that in?
I think that's all part of the park board discussion items here.
We can remove the office closure for Friday.
Okay, I'll second.
Hold on, the auditor would like to remove the auditor closure for Friday, March 6th from the agenda. Okay. Okay, with those additions and deletions, I'd look for a motion again.
I'll make that motion again.
Okay. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving forward, we have minutes from our previous meetings here. We have our February 3rd commission meeting minutes. If you've all had a chance to approve, or review those, I'd look for a motion to approve those.
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Can I get a second?
Are we approving both dates?
I figured I'd do it just one at a time.
Okay. I'll second for the March, or the February 3rd one.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving forward, additionally, we have February 19th commission minutes. If you've had an opportunity to look at those,
Make a motion to approve the 19th minutes?
okay. I'll second those. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Accounts payable. We have a pretty good packet of accounts payable here today.
I had a couple questions.
Okay?
Under public safety, and I know the sheriff's not here, but the first item on there for bronze distributing on that is that for the Easter event thing, or what is that?
Is that the $3,400?
Yeah, $3,550.
I guess I don't have any of those in front of me, so I'm not sure what it is.
I guess because my concern was, I guess, in that if it's for the Easter, that I thought that was funded by the Deputies Association and donations.
Yes, should be.
So is this for that, or do you know, or?
Is it just on a spreadsheet or is the invoice there?
It's just an AP, it's just a line item. It doesn't give you any direction, it just says,
It's an invoice for $3,400 and it lists all the different types of candy that were purchased.
It was candy purchased, yes, that would be a SCAD purchase, it shouldn't be a county expense.
So that should go through the
A
association?
nonprofit would pay for that one, yes.
Okay, that brings that, thank you. There
Okay.
also, there's a for public, for tickets for the state of the city for $80. I don't know if that should be covered by the county or not.
Where's that at now?
Is that also, you and
For went to
Lieutenant
the-
Mayor and Sheriff Lee attended?
Yeah, the state of the city, yeah. I'm not sure if that should be covered by the county, but
Commissioner Franchuk, I think in the past, we did cover those tickets, but it's completely up to the commission on that.
Okay, any other questions, comments about the accounts payable for the month? With that, I'd look for a motion to approve the accounts payable, however you'd see fit.
To make the motion, then being that we're gonna get reimbursed for that $3,450.
And 92 cents?
Yep, 92 cents, right?
Okay. We have a motion to approve the accounts payable with the idea that we'll be reimbursed for the $3,400 and change from SCAD. Does that understand right? We have a motion?
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call vote. Commissioner Franchuk.
Aye.
Commissioner White.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion approved. Okay. All right, we have years of recognition. Is Maya here today by chance, or is she up there working? Up there working. Of course she is. Okay, we have a certificate of recognition from Maya Kuntz.
It's the hard copy.
Okay, from Maya Kuntz. She works at the State's Attorney's Office for the past 10 years. Loyal and dedicated service to Stark County. State's Attorney Engelstad, would you like to make any comments about one of your favorite employees?
Just that, she's one of my favorite employees. All of them are my favorite employees. She does a great job, and I'm very happy to continue to have her and have had her for the last 10 years.
Okay.
Does great work.
All
Thanks.
right, let's give her a round of applause. If she was here, we could have handed it to her, but we'll get it to her. Okay, moving forward. I guess we're going to jump right into Park Board Commission items.
Okay, approved payments of, from the general fund, 50912, and the special project for the livestock building of $128,900.43. Because of some voting discrepancy and myself not conflict of interest on the last vote for the Speedway, we did a revote approving the $230,000 bid from Two's Construction for the necessary repairs at the Speedway. Basically, that as far as, I think that, we also approved a bid for lights for behind the fairgrounds, behind the bleachers at the fairgrounds for $8,500. To look into moving the electrical box behind the bleachers for some future use.
I suspect we should probably tackle the big items first here. We have the approval of a bid at the Park Board level. It was basically a recommendation from the Park Board to the County Commission to move forward with repairs at our Speedway. And as discussed at the Park Board level, funding is not available in our fund at the Park Board level. So there'll have to be some discussion at the County Commission of how this is funded and where this comes from, so on and so forth. So I would open that discussion.
I stated the last meeting, I think we've transferred some money from our CARES Act over to the general fund, and I would think we'd use that money out of the general fund for the repairs of the Speedway for the $230,000 bid for Two's Construction.
I would offer some discussion about this subject. It was my great hope that at some point that the new group would, have everything together. I mean, we're still waiting for the new organization to, I'll back up here. We need to have a lease agreement with the new folks at the Speedway, the new group. And right now, I mean, I know that they're working on it, but I don't think that they're quite there yet as far as having a formal organization put together, bylaws, whatever. I mean, that's on their side of things. The lease agreement itself, obviously there'll be some requirements there. We need to talk about lease amounts, insurance levels required, so on and so forth. And I would really like to see, the last thing I want to see, and I will say this first and foremost, I'm 100% in favor of us repairing our track and getting it up to operational level. But what I don't want to do is make the mistake of, because currently, technically, we don't have an operator. And I'd like to see us flesh those ideas out and get that lease agreement in solid footing prior to us moving forward with the construction.
So if we don't have an operator, why am I in conflict of interest when we have no money to run it?
Well, that's up to you to decide where your
I mean, I'm
conflict is.
agreeing with it, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying,
Yeah.
there's no reason for them to rent it from us if we don't have it in a shape to rent it.
Well, I mean, I think it's chicken egg here for sure. I mean, we can discuss that. I mean, I like I said, I'm 100% in favor. And this isn't just me talking. I'm 100% in favor of us fixing our property because I want to see racing happen. I want this new group to, I want us to formalize a lease agreement here. I mean, and there's going to be some requirements. I think that I'm not entirely sure that they understand or, I have no idea where they're at as far as have they committed to, I mean, all of this is going to take a lot of commitment on their side monetarily, getting insurance put together, so on and so forth. So I'd like to, and in the discussion of, what we're going to lease those grounds for. So that lease agreement needs to be in place, in my opinion. But like I said, I want to get there. I just want to make sure it gets done right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think we can go back a little bit, and I'm not gonna, again, repeat. If anybody wants to know the history of expenditures out there, they can just review the last park board minute. But it has also been brought to my attention that there was additional expenditures out there from the county that I did not bring up. But more importantly, I wanna go back to where we advertised. We did an RFP for an operator at the Speedway, and there were certain criteria that was in that RFP. A business plan, financial capability, organizational structure, and those kind of things. And I too want the Speedway to be successful, but I also want to be prudent and responsible with taxpayer assets and funds. So I think you have a number of items in front of you. I think they need to be kind of parched separately, to include the potential improvements out there, to include the operator agreement / lease and those kind of things. So it would be my suggestion that we kind of take those one at a time if we could. Thank you.
Okay, where would you like to start?
Well, I think in today's park district, we made a recommendation, the park board made a recommendation to the county commission to authorize the contract. So I would start there, and we can put conditions and changes or additional motions after that. I don't know unless someone else has a different idea.
Okay. All right, well, that said, we do have a recommendation from the park board to approve the bid for $230,000 from Two's Construction to move forward with those repairs.
I guess I have a comment. At the last meeting, when we were going through all the things that the county's done to improve that venue, I think the last year we've stuck any money into it other than purchasing a little bit of land was 2008. So that's how many years that we've gone without putting money into that. That's that many years that we've gone forward without putting any money into that facility.
So how many dollars in rent have we garnered since 2008, Bernie?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, that said, well, so it's been explained, right? We at the park board level, we are to fund the repairs. The funding needs to come from the county commission, and the county commission. So I would look for a motion to move forward with that, please. I guess we need to understand where the funding's coming from, so on and so forth, right? So I'd look for a motion.
I'll make that motion that we approve the bid by Two's Construction for $230,000, and the funding should come, like I said, out of the general fund from the money that we had from the CARES Act.
I will second that.
Okay, any further discussion?
Yeah, I just want to confirm we have excess CARES Act funding to cover this.
Well, it's not really CARES Act funding anymore. It was moved to the general fund. But we did move over, I would say about, I want to say it was around 700 and something thousand to the general fund at the January meeting for January meeting for 2025.
So a year ago.
No, just a month ago. or
No,
2 months ago.
just in January's meeting of this year for budget amendments in 2025. You're welcome.
Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call vote. Commissioner Franchuk,
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
I abstain.
Okay. Chair votes aye. Commissioner Messer.
No,
Okay. Okay, motion approved. Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir.
I would like to make a motion that the expenditures for the improvement of the track be capped at $230,000.
We have a motion to cap the expenditure of the repairs at $230,000. Can I get a motion to second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote. Do we need a roll call on this? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on this. Commissioner Messer,
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh,
Abstain.
Commissioner Franchuk.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion approved. Okay. For discussion items, I guess I would just I'd like to open up the discussion with our new group, and just kind of get an update where you're at, currently with, your organization.
Hi, Darcy Dennis with the Southwest Speedway. We had originally planned to have a meeting tomorrow night. That, I think we made that choice last week, early week. There's a bunch of us that are on there that have kids in basketball right now. So we're just trying to get through districts, and then that's supposed to end tonight. So tomorrow we have a meeting. We're gonna meet with the motocross track, and we're all gonna kind of go over just the basic, let's get the board positions made up, figure out who's going in for insurance, the 501c3, all of those things. So most of that stuff will all happen tomorrow night. So once we get all that in place, and who's where exactly, like I guess it's the chain of command, we can bring all of that stuff to the next meeting if you guys would like. Or however you guys want to see it. I guess it depends on what you guys want us to do.
I think that at some point here in the very near future, you need to get a lease agreement put in front of you, and that's park board item.
Okay.
And so, okay.
And to reiterate what we had in the park board meeting this morning, that entities all need to come forward with a COI for us as well,
A COI.
certificate of insurance.
Got it. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I've never heard it called that. You need to dumb it down, Corey. Dumb it down for me.
We want to see it successful, but like I said, I just want to make sure that, because you have a lot of hurdles and
Yes,
hoops
we
to
do.
jump through to
Yep.
get to this point, or get to a point where you're actually operating. And, like I said, your insurance, your cash outlay for insurance, I have no idea what that's going to cost you and what the limits. I would think the limits would be somewhat similar that we have at the fairgrounds. I think we have a $4 million liability policy that are limits.
3 or 4.
Yeah, I think that you're gonna wanna look
Yeah.
at those things, so.
Now, I will say that the Fair Association is under Stark County's umbrella for their insurance, so they're able to be insured through NDERF. And so I would say that it's probably much less cost. And so the Speedway might be a little bit at a disadvantage there because I don't know how much it's gonna cost.
I
just
would
for
think Mr.
regular-
Hardigan would be a good
Yeah,
resource here.
because we've had the same person for probably close to the last 5 years. And they're through like a local bank, but then he does his own thing. But it kind of specializes in motorsports of all kinds. So
Perfect.
they kind of have a different clause in there to cover some of the stuff. So I'm sure we'll probably go through the same person.
Okay. Other park board items. Bernie, you had a discussion point.
Okay, so,
Miss,
Go ahead, sorry.
go ahead, Neil.
I just want to make sure, or I'll make a motion that any provision of a lease that is executed includes the responsibility of grounds out there, to include mowing of the grass and spraying of all weeds. I think that needs to be essential. It is, I don't think it's our responsibility, once that property is leased, to be responsible for the grounds.
Is that a motion?
No, I think it's, that can be a conversation piece, and I think the other, thing that we have to do is discuss, lease amounts. I know that the Speedway is gonna have limited, venues out there, or limited events out there for 2026, so I would think our 2026 number would be a reduced number, so that they can, not be burdened by.
Did we give a number last meeting?
Well, we didn't. I mean, historically, I think back, way back, like in that 2008 range that we were talking, I think they were paying $5,000 annually to lease that. Now, that's
For
18,
the first
20
year, I'd
years
like to
ago.
see it be a reasonable amount anyway.
I would like to see it be reasonable the first year, but with the expectations that it would increase going forward. At some point, it's gotta
Yeah.
make sense for us.
Yeah, I think
agree.
as we work together, as to have a business partner relationship, that there's got to be some kind of agreement that over the next several years, there is going to be needs to fix and repair things too. And if it's a very minimal a lease, that it's going to be very tough to fix things.
Yes.
So whether there's something in the agreement where there's a portion put away each year set aside for R&M for that facility, to make sure that it stays going for years to come, instead of 18 years later comes the commission for $250,000.
I'm 100% behind that. That was I've expressed those very wants and wishes to the new group and in our meetings. We have to think about the future and sustainability here. I'm excited that we've got a group, but like I said, they've got a long ways to go to get everything put together here. And I know that 26 is going to look a little different and a little chopped up for sure.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I also think that the reason behind my previous motion for capping those expenses was to encourage the Speedway organization to reach out to the three entities or three potential partners. They talk about public partner, private partners, to other partners to get this Speedway up to date, or keep it up to date with potential additional expenditures. Obviously, one of them was the city of Dickinson. We kind of kiboshed even going approaching them. One was the Department of Commerce. We kind of kiboshed even going to them. And the other one was partners that are always willing to look forward for civic organizations not only in the energy sector, but other sectors as well. So that was part of the logic there, is let's make sure this is a true public-private partnership, and make sure everybody's, I know it's a bad word, but everybody's got some skin in the game here, so that we can keep this as successful as possible without putting the burdens on solely taxpayers.
Correct.
I agree. That was a little bit, and that was discussed at the park board level, the last meeting on the 19th. There was the $230,000 is, that is the bid, but I think there's some unknowns there, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I would encourage the new group to reach out for funds right now. And I would also encourage, I'd like to see the new group. We're your friends. Make sure you're communicating with us and keeping us in the loop. And like I said, if we're gonna have this partnership, some good communication between the entities would be great. So, okay, anything else on the park board commission items
me.
here?
Me.
Bernie's and then the lights, because
Okay.
those weren't in the bills.
Do you want to just add, okay, so we had, we had a couple of items. We had the bills from, accounts payable from the Park Board for Publication Park for $294.12 and Jam Pest Control for $215.
Those were included in the accounts payable, but I do need a motion to approve to pay the fairgrounds lights for $8,500.
Okay, I would look for that motion.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
A second.
Okay. Roll call vote is to fund, that is for the lights out there, correct? Yeah. The light fixtures at the fairgrounds. Roll call vote, Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh,
Abstain?
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. And Bernie, you had some additional discussion.
Okay, so my sitting on the parks, almost anything that I could suggest for improvements could come back as me being a conflict of interest to try and improve things so that I could sell more beer or whatever. I mean, I already have a blemish on me because of this last vote last week, which, I mean, it was my fault, it's not my thinking. I think that, so in the future, nobody misconstrues anything that's going on out there that I'm in support of. We probably should have a different person in charge of parks. I mean, I was on the fair board for 10 years. I've been on this since I mean, I love parks and stuff like that, but I don't want to see something negative of my being there stop something from going forward because I'm promoting something that could be construed as a conflict of interest on my part.
Okay. Well, I guess
So then
I'd start-
you're saying do you have the portfolio for the fairgrounds, you don't want that
Well,
anymore?
I mean, I think that in the future, there could be problems when something goes forward and it's just like, okay, conflict of interest on Marsh, conflict of interest on Marsh, conflict of interest on Marsh, because he's promoting all this stuff. I don't want to see that happen and
Perception's reality.
perception's reality, and
Yeah.
I think that it could be in the future something that we don't want.
I think that's probably, I appreciate the thoughts, honestly. I mean, whether there really is a conflict, I know that you vote with your heart and what you'd like to do. I mean, I know that you're not doing this but like you said, perception is reality for some people, right? They don't understand your dedication and the way what you wanted to do out there, but it might make some sense.
And I see what he's saying, but I mean, anybody that's gonna run for public office, you're a business owner, you got other people that are involved in things.
I agree with you.
That,
I'm just saying, I
you're
sell
a big
beer.
property guy, right? And
I sell
you're-
beer, and I've sold beer in the past. I'm going to sell beer in the future. I don't want somebody
Okay.
misconcepting on what I'm doing out there.
Then we all sit on the park board too, right? So.
Yes, we do. I still sit on the park board.
I think it's probably not a terrible idea to look at that. Like I said, I'm not pointing any fingers at you. so
I'm not taking it that way.
Yeah.
But in the future, somebody easily
Yeah.
could.
It's probably wise to rethink that a little bit. Well,
Mr. Chairman?
yes, sir.
Well, I think the way the statute is written is that, anytime a commissioner of any board feels that they may have a conflict, they need to announce that, and as Amanda explained, then the rest of the board can make a determination of whether that actually is a conflict. I think on Bernie's behalf, I think if he thinks he's potentially conflicted with what goes on out there, that he has that prerogative to either announce it or request a different portfolio. But my point is there's a lot of things that go out at the fairgrounds and go through the park board that would not be financially related where he would have a conflict. So I think if Bernie wants to give up that portfolio, that's totally up to him. I certainly wouldn't force it, but yeah, we as commissioners, no matter what level you're at, you're under the microscope and you have increased scrutiny. Everything, the naysayers, don't listen to the 10% who are out there.
My whole life's been an open book. I mean, the
Yeah.
business I'm in, I've been scrutinized from day one.
And
I just don't want to see it coming back in a negative way to the parks.
I don't see fixing a water leak from a natural spring, gonna benefit you. Now, if it was to the concession stands or something like that, maybe, right? So,
But I just wanted this up for discussion because I could really see at this point, since I already have this in front of me, that it could be a problem in the future.
Yep.
So, I mean, we don't have to decide anything today. I just bring it up for discussion and, you know, I'm still gonna go to Jeff and get this other information, but it's just something that I wanna bring. I wanna be transparent. I wanna bring it up.
Well, historically, I mean, I'm the chairman today, but I'm not the chairman. So historically, this has been kind of in the chairman's wheelhouse. Commissioner Messer, I mean, if you would like to have further discussion with Bernie and put your thoughts as far as how you want to go forward with that portfolio assignment, I guess we could look at that.
We can do that when he gets home.
Yep, Bernie and I are going out to the fairgrounds, so we'll discuss it then. I agree, there's no immediacy needed right now.
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, that said, anything else from Park Board that we need to talk about? Karen, do we have anything? We good?
Not that I know of.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, so somebody needs to sign this, for electric sales for,
Chairman Messer can sign that. Well,
Yeah,
that electric sales and service one, yeah,
Yeah, we've done other stuff since I've been gone. DocuSign will do the same here.
okay,
well, I'll give it to you and you take care of it.
Yeah, I guess.
Thank you.
okay. All right, moving forward, sheriff's report from, well, someone better looking than Sheriff Lee, Jesse Hoff.
That's what I was gonna say.
You got so much better
Me to
looking.
it. I'm not Sheriff Lee. I'm Lieutenant Jesse Hoff. Sitting in for him today. I do not know where he is. He's been gone a bit lately. I don't know if he's on vacation or training. I've asked around, and I'm sure he told us, but nobody knows. So hopefully he's supposed to be back Thursday. Hopefully he is. I sent our sheet in. Is it gonna be up on the screen? I was gonna skip reading a lot of the numbers. So we've got our February highlights, calls for service, all the traffic stops, the numbers. They haven't changed. They're not substantially higher or lower than they were in January or in February of 2025. The one notable thing on there is truck reg stops. There's 6 stops, 3 overweight fines. Sergeant Hiltunen is at work. He spent some of February training, but he's out doing it now. So we have active truck weight enforcement going on at this time again.
Frost laws went into effect, was it last week?
I think it was last week, yes. So if we save some time, cut through some of the numbers, not reading those out, and I go to the very end, this will take a little bit of time to get through. One of it, just on the recognition side, of assisting agencies. On Thursday, March 12th, a longtime county resident was murdered just east of Dickinson. The media releases have been put out. I won't elaborate too much more than the releases did, but from the time of the first call reporting the incident to the time the suspect was taken into custody was 2 hours and 23 minutes. The amount of interviews, search warrants, evidence gathering, surveillance that go into an investigation of this sort is staggering. When it was broadcast to deputies on the radio, and before we could even ask for help, agencies and officers were showing up, offering to help and looking for work to do, before we even asked. Those agencies are the North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation, the Dickinson Police Department, and the North Dakota Highway Patrol. We've told them thank you. I want to tell them thanks here in a more public forum. But I think it was important for the commission and the public to know, like, that high level of cooperation that goes on when something truly serious like this happens. It couldn't have done it without them, and certainly not in that short of an amount of time. I'm going to skip ahead along the bottom to the camera contract. Just because on this one, I'm not looking for a motion or any approval. I just have to make the commission aware. I think I talked to Commissioner Franchuk after one of the last meetings, but we signed a 5-year contract with Utility for vehicle, body, and interview cameras in October of 2021. That contract expires in October 31st of 2026. I don't yet have quotes or even a good estimate what another contract will look like. I honestly thought it expired in 2027, so I was gonna push it off until we started talking budget later this year. But the company we're with actually sent me a quote for renewal, and I had to look into, well, what is this? Yeah, you expire October 31st. I have a meeting with them to discuss the renewal this afternoon, actually, and a second meeting with another company, Axon, later next week. When I have quotes from both companies, I'll be back to present them. Being I tell you, I really have no idea what this is gonna cost. I can tell you, October 2021, the 5-year contract was $383,000. That was with a big discount for being the first agency in North Dakota to use that company, and another discount for paying the whole contract in one lump sum. And we paid it out of COVID funds at the time, I believe. Either company is going to have a higher contract amount than that initial contract. Like I said, I haven't spoken to utility yet, but in our initial meeting, the contract representative from Axon, which is the other company, said they were willing to accept like $1,000 down payment at contract signing, and then having the first year's payment postponed until January 2027. So I don't think this is something, at least with the one company, from what I'm seeing, that we're gonna have to come up with a significant amount of money yet this year. Wanted to give you guys a heads up, though, that I will be bringing more info on that hopefully soon.
I know we talked about that last meeting, but you were gonna talk to the state's attorney about that contract, because you actually didn't get the equipment till several months
So
after.
March of 2022 is when the equipment came and was installed. I looked at the contract and it says, it doesn't show a date when the contract expires, but it says it's a 5-year term, and then it has the date of the signature, so I'm not real sure if we can put up a fight and say, hey, you're gonna give us service until March of 2027. I will at some point have to get that up to the state attorney's office.
Yeah, it
and
would be a good idea to review
them
that.
take a look just to be sure we don't have a fight that we can win there.
Okay, thank you.
Now I am looking for some motions or approvals. We have 2 deputies seeking approval for out-of-state travel for training. Sergeant Masters is a member of the local crisis negotiations team. He and others from the team are looking to attend the Special Operations Training Association's annual conference in Duluth, annual training conference in Duluth, Minnesota, April 19 to April 2021, or April 19 to April 21. North Dakota Special Operations Committee will pay for the training and the hotel stay, leaving the sheriff's office in the county to pay just travel wages and per diem. Similarly, but a much longer training, Corporal Klatt has been invited by Performance Kennels in Buffalo, Minnesota, to attend another 12-week canine patrol and detection course from March 9th, starts soon, to May 29th. But this time he'd be attending as an instructor, helping train 13 new handlers and their canines. This would certify him as a USPCA trainer. There are currently no certified USPCA trainers in North Dakota, either law enforcement or private. Having a certified trainer locally allows us to train, retrain, or certify current and future canine teams without sending them to Minnesota. The training typically costs $5,000, but Corporal Klatt was invited at no cost to the agency. Sheriff's office in the county would be responsible for lodging, travel, wages, and per diem on that one.
Okay. Are you good there? So should we?
I'm done with that one.
Okay, let's address this while it's still hot. I would look for a motion to approve the out-of-state travel for Sergeant Masters. Start
So
with that.
moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Commissioner Franchuk,
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh,
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion approved. And then we would look for a motion to approve out-of-state travel for Corporal Klatt.
So moved.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, I'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner White.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion approved. Okay. Go ahead, Jesse.
On to the last one. Greg Barros was with the Dickinson Police Department for 29 years. He retired and began working with our office as a full-time deputy in February of 2018, retiring again from full-time work in February of 2023, so he did 5 years with our office. He continued to serve as a licensed reserve deputy until November of last year, when he retired. I'm asking for approval to retire his old service pistol to his possession. It is a 7-year-old Glock, and after recently trading several similar handguns for our newer ones, I can say it has a trade value of $255.
Guess I'd make that motion to
Okay.
retire.
There was some past experience that they were talked about, Ted had 20 years of service with the county before we did that, but I don't know if we want to consider that or not. Wasn't that the past, Jesse?
I'm not sure I've ever heard a real number. I think it's always kind of dependent, what kind of standing did they leave in? Did they retire, or were they kind of forced to retire? And circumstances around it. In his case, he's got a lot of medical things going on. He'd still be out front working security if he could.
That was just something I think it was brought up in the past, I guess, just for your information.
Okay. Commissioner Marsh, you did make a motion to approve that transfer of that property?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I would look for a second.
So when we do this transfer of the property, do we have to do the background checks, all that, before we transfer it over?
I don't believe so, no. I will make sure, though.
Okay, we have a motion. I would look for a second.
Second.
We have a second from Commissioner Messer.
I'm
Discussion, go ahead.
maybe I'm getting too in the weeds here, but I'm a little concerned about the gifting clause. And I think under 112701, you can dispose of property with a value less than $1,000 without putting it up for bid. But I think if you don't want to run afoul of that, you're probably going to have to set a price on this, whether it's $1 or something. I don't know that you can just gift it to him without running afoul of that gifting constitutional clause.
That value was what?
I would ask the question, is this,
255 was the trade value.
so this is
most recently.
basically a weapon that's been decommissioned from the sheriff's office?
It's not decommissioned. It's a model that we don't use anymore.
Okay.
I just didn't trade it because at the time he was still a licensed reserve and he was using it.
So are you saying that there needs to be a price put on, or a number put on this gift?
I think that to be safe, yes. I mean, when you're looking at 112701, when it talks about disposing of any property from the county, if it's valued under $1,000, you can sell it at a private sale. But I think you're getting into gray territory if you're gifting something.
Okay, so just a quick question, just to throw it out there. Would it be a possibility that the deputy association purchased the gun from the SO and the deputies association make this gift to him? Does that make any sense for you?
Potentially. There's potential there.
I mean, if we want to make it clean, that may be a way.
Say we could set some sort of price, whether it's $255 or $20 because it's a gift, like.
Amanda, so if we put $1 on it, that would satisfy 1127?
I have to take a clearer look at it to see if there's like a fair market value that needs to be attached. I'm just telling you, like, I need to do probably a little more research, but I think that if there isn't a dollar amount on it, you might run afoul of that gifting clause.
So I just looked it up. It says a lot of departments do allow to either purchase. Most departments allow it to be transferred for $1 or no charge if policy authorizes it.
Where are you looking at that at?
I was just looking, I Googled it. Sorry. That's what I did.
right.
That's what I did.
I think that, just to want to make sure, I'm fully on board with him getting the service weapon, by the way. I think it probably might be a good idea, although we do have a motion on the table, don't we?
I'll withdraw my second if you want to research it, and bring it back next meeting.
Just table it till the next meeting. Would
Yeah.
you be willing to withdraw?
I'm good with that.
I think we just want to make sure we want to do it right here. So I think everybody's in favor of the idea, but, so I would look for a motion to table it till, or do we even need a motion to table it?
Well, there was a
Don't
motion.
need a motion to table.
All right. Okay. Anything else?
That was all I
Mr.
had,
Hoff?
if there's no questions.
Well, thank you for your report.
Thank you.
Okay. Todd Miller, County Road Report. Are you ready for us?
Morning, Commissioners. Todd Miller, Stark County Road Superintendent. I'm also going to take care of the county road engineers report as well.
Good.
Because kind of went overboard.
They got bored and left again, Todd?
Well, they have to go to another meeting with
Gotcha.
another commission. So, road crew operations for the month, we've been repairing and servicing equipment, like for, getting it ready for the spring. Also tree clearing and removal of operations are still going on by county forces along the right of way of safety and eliminating snow issues out in the county, but while weather is permitting us to do so. We're currently, as of today, we're out hauling scoria to low maintenance roads, and we'll keep going as we can for that. The other thing is projects that we got coming up for this spring. We got flex funding bridge replacement in Belfield. That'll be bidding soon. My conversation with Highlands Engineering is that it'll be bid in mid-May for that project. We have, for county forces, we're gonna tackle 5 structures ourselves to be removed and then made into low water crossings in the county. Culverts have been ordered for those structures. And then in a couple weeks here, we just started heating the oil. So we'll be out crack sealing and doing hot and pour rubber sealing operations. And then if weather permits too, we'll be also be blading and pulling shoulders this spring. For far as for the road engineers, KLJ is working on a chip and fog seal for Enchanted Highway. That'll be bid here next in April or for our next meeting. And then also a bid will be bid opening for 30th Street Bridge replacement north of Richardson. And those right of easements have been, construction easements been all finalized and cleared. So they'll negotiate those here shortly, and then we'll be moving forward for bidding next month. And that's all I have.
Okay.
Any questions?
When's our other truck out of Fargo gonna be ready? Do we know?
Oh, you mean for oiling? Yeah, we haven't heard anything back yet, and I'm assuming it'll come right when we're done.
Right when you're done.
So,
Ready for next year.
ready for next year.
Okay. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you guys.
Okay, we have the folks from City of Dickinson here, Dickinson Ambulance. Chief Presnell. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, good morning, Commissioners. I want to thank you for your patience. I know it's been a little bit since I've been up in front of you. I've spoke to some of you individually, but it's been a little bit of a process getting an ambulance service going in a very short time frame. But I do have some numbers that I can present for you and kind of answer any questions. Please feel free to stop me throughout any of this if you have any questions that pop into your head, and I can try to answer them. So just a little bit of a breakdown of the finances for the ambulance service. You can kind of see, as you're aware, that the county and city partnered and funded this. I think where we're really going to look at is 2025 and the revenues. This was as of the end of December, so I can kind of get into why this has increased it's increasing as we speak. I just double checked on our account, but just a couple notable things and some additional revenue is we brought in an additional 63,000 in self-bill. That's going to include our responses to the jail, some responses for flight crew transfers from the airport to the hospital or from the hospital to the airport. And then also some of our event standbys. We were out at the Speedway, a lot of the college football games, high school football games. We did charge a fee for that standby. We also brought in just about $20,000 in education, teaching CPR courses, an EMT course, and other advanced EMS level courses to nurses and other EMS professionals. And then just kind of going back into 24 and 25, we did receive about 117,000 in grants that we put in for. We received a $70,000 grant to help provide the firefighting gear for these new team members that we brought on with this transition. We received a $20,000 grant last year to purchase what's called a life blanket. It's a little better setup for our cots instead of using the sheets that are normally used. There's also a heat factor to them as well, so obviously we know it's kind of cold in North Dakota for several months. It really did a lot there. And then we also received a lot of educational reimbursement from the state for any EMT that we got certified. A paramedic that we had finish up right as we started was reimbursed by the state. They reimburse up to about 90% of the cost of the courses. And I can report that we're currently going through an AMT course with, I think, 17 people in it from the department. How many? 23, my apologies. And we can probably get just under 2,000 per person reimbursement from the state to kind of offset some of that training cost. Here's kind of a breakdown of some of our revenues we saw over that 6-month period. As you can kind of see, it continued to grow. The stuff in the red is stuff still being collected. The billing cycle for EMS, especially starting a new agency, is that 3-month. We're still seeing revenue coming in from July. So it's getting pushed out a little bit onto that 6-month.
So I'd just stop you there for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those numbers surprise you, or this is what you anticipated, or where are you at with that?
I would say for the first 6 months, I was surprised. I mean, there's a lot into building these biller relationships. Each new insurance company that we had to bill, we had to set up accounts with them, so it was quite the process. So that's why we're seeing significant timeframes for collection. But we're actually, I was pleasantly surprised. We can do better, but it's kind of expected for that first 6-month time period. Just kind of a breakdown of our revenues. So a lot of it comes from our base rates, so what we charge for that response, and mileage. So that kind of breaks down. It's a fairly balanced, although it doesn't look it, it's pretty balanced for the industry. We're averaging about $673 per call. That's what we're kind of seeing.
That's what you're getting back in revenues, the $673. That's what you collected on it, or that's
Average.
what your average to collect.
That's our average to
Cost.
collect, yeah.
Okay.
And that's spread across every call we go on or that's put into the billing system. Kind of our payer mix, we have a significant, or the governmental insurances, Medicaid, Medicare, are a significant portion of our payer mix. But we do have a good balance with commercial that kind of makes that up. So every time we bill Medicaid and Medicare, they don't pay us what we bill. They have set fees or maxes that they'll pay out. So they subtract theirs, and then we get what we get from them. But that commercial mix kind of offsets some of those decreases and what the government's willing to fund. The real only threat that we have is that 14% self-pay. That can sometimes be hard to collect, but one thing that we're finding is they're not truly self-pay. If at the time of service, when we take them into the hospital, if we get the face sheet, it doesn't have the correct insurance information, the company that we contract through for our third-party billing will send it directly to the patient, essentially with a big note that says, please provide your insurance, and we'll send this over to your insurance. And that takes a little bit longer. So it's coming in a little higher in our self-pay, but it's not crazy, but that is a threat to our billing, but we do have a good mix. Just the collection trends, as you can kind of see, the percentages is what we've collected. And if you can recall, when we came to you with this plan for the ambulance. I believe the previous ambulance service was in that 50% range. So we're seeing pretty good collection rates in the 70s. And as you can see, December, November, October are still a little low. We're still collecting on that as we're speaking now. So money's still coming in. It'll probably still come in over the next couple of months. So it's really hard to get a true accounting of that collection percentage or what we have. Just some operational rhythm. You can kind of see our call volume over that 6-month period. I mean, for us, this was a significant increase from what we were used to. So if I would have done the whole year, you would have saw just the fire responses and then the jump. But it's pretty consistent. Monday and Tuesdays, oddly enough, are our busiest days. Not really sure. We haven't really dug into why, but they are busier days. Just some of our response matrix. We got a pretty quick from the time we receive the call until the time we're out the door. We're doing pretty well with what they call our shoot time. It's well within the national average. It's actually below it. And then our 618 response time is really, really good from like a 7 to 8 minute national response time. So we're getting out the door and we're getting on scene pretty quick. Just some resource utilization. We're spending an average of 43 minutes on 911 calls, and as you can see, a significant amount of time on interfacility transfers. If you're not familiar with an interfacility transfer is, that's from the hospital to another hospital or another facility, and we do a significant number of transfers from Dickinson to Bismarck. We have gone as far as Fargo or Billings, not a whole lot, but it does happen. But that's where a lot of our unit, our ambulances are being used. We probably at any given time have an ambulance out of town on a transfer. We have limited it to only having one ambulance out of town at a time, just so we ensure that we have 911 coverage for our response district, which is outside the city limits. We had about 1,233 patient transfers over that 6-month period, and 323 interfacility transfers. It averages out to a little over 2 a day for those interfacility transfers. So just a couple of things I wanted to hit that we have kind of coming with kind of the approach we took on the fire side in terms of recruitment and retention. We didn't want to sit and wait for somebody to fix our problem for us when we couldn't hire firefighters. So we started several programs with the CTE and Dickinson State. So we have fire certification happening in the high school system, and we had approached DSU to start an associate's program in fire science. So we had a pipeline to kind of bring these kids in and continue their education, get them into the fire department. We are also taking that same approach with EMS. We did have a little bit of a struggle in the beginning finding staff. There is a shortage of paramedics, but I'm glad to announce that we have partnered with DSU, and we will be offering a paramedic program at DSU starting hopefully in the fall. Definitely, that's our goal. Part of that is an EMT class, so we can kind of start with an EMT class first to kind of kick off that program, which it will be the first bachelor's level for EMS, so in the state of North Dakota. And from what I understand, it's actually far reaching than just Dickinson or just North Dakota. There's not a lot of bachelor level programs in EMS, so as well as expanding our fire science program into a bachelor's level. So all of those courses are taught by our staff in partnership with DSU. They handle all the general eds. We handle all the fire EMS specific. We did create the career or the educational paths where if somebody wants to be a firefighter medic, that they can come fire, go medic. If they want the medic route only, they can go medic. And we've had a lot of discussions with the nursing program to where they're potentially going to start allowing nursing students to take the paramedic program or EMT and count as some of their elective courses. So that will kind of start producing some more EMS responders out in these communities that definitely need the help. And then with that, I can answer any questions. I know it's a real high-level, quick view.
I have to say that's really exciting what you're doing with DSU. That's, I mean, talk about sustainability. You're going to sustain your own program just by, right here locally potentially.
So when you say you have your own people that are teaching these courses at the college, those are people that you've had to hire above what we already have? and put them in those positions, or do you take people from your fire and your medics, your EMTs and stuff like that, and those are the guys that are teaching this?
Absolutely, Commissioner. It's not additional people. We are gluttons for punishment. And it is our people teaching extra on their days off these courses because there's a lot of passion
It's amazing.
with our staff that they want to see, not just, Dickinson and Stark County. They want to see, across North Dakota that we don't experience these recruitment issues.
One of the things that I've said right when this whole thing started is we are gonna be the basis that other people in the state are gonna be following, which I think you are doing that, and with having the education here and stuff like that, I think you're setting the standards at a point up here that people want to have what we have.
I hope so. There's a lot of work going behind this. Our staff is putting a lot of time, hopefully in the future that'll pay off. We're probably 2 or 3 years out before we see the fruits of the labor from the paramedic program, like we did with the fire side of it. But yeah, they're excited. They're getting ready to go. And we are fully staffed now. Technically, we're short one position, but we do have 2 or 3 applications sitting and waiting for us to interview paramedics. So it was a little slow going, but we do feel that we took a deep breath, we slowed down a little bit and stopped just looking for paramedics and started looking for the right people that really fit the culture of the Dickinson Fire Department, that shared the same values, especially when it came to customer service and being decent to our community. So
I had a question budget-wise. If you said that you have your regular paramedics and fire department people doing a lot of training, and I think that's great that
Yeah.
they're willing to do that. How are you able to control budget-wise that large probably amount of overtime? Are all these people usually hourly, or is it salary?
just for clarification, are you speaking specifically like to the DSU programs?
For
Or-
any of the extra training programs that you're providing, is that all affecting the budget as far as overtime or overtime costs? Quite significant?
Sorry to cut you off. CTE covers the cost of our instructors in the high school, and DSU covers the cost of our instructors through any of the DSU programs. So it's no cost to us. Obviously, students are paying tuition to them, and we are getting hired as either adjunct instructors or program directors over the programs.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So no additional cost to the department, to the city, to the county. This is just additional stuff. It kind of keeps our people, instead of having to go find a second job framing or, doing something like that, at least they're staying in the industry. They're staying up to date with what's going on. They're educating. So we're really excited for that.
That's great. That answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
I
good.
had a curiosity question if I was seeing things. The other day I saw one of your items in the back, it said stay back 343 feet.
Yeah.
What's it?
We actually get this question a lot. We really do. So the 343, it's a tribute to the 343 firefighters that died at 9/11. Normally you see stay back 500 feet, but it's just a tribute, a way for us to pay respect to those that paid the ultimate sacrifice.
Okay, thank you.
That's awesome. I appreciate your guys' proactive approach to this whole thing. I think it's been a good partnership thus far.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
Anything
been waiting
else?
for this report. I'm so anxious and happy way that this report has turned out, and so I'm
Yeah.
very proud of everything you guys have done out there.
We will start coming back to you more frequently. It's just getting numbers is so difficult because of the billing or the billing cycles.
Everything's happening so fast and rolling, yeah.
I would say it's happening fast. We almost thought we weren't going to make it this morning. We had every ambulance out and some, so I got a little crazy there this morning, but we were able to make it work.
All right. Any,
Enjoy all your Facebook videos.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was directing them.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. We have on the agenda an item, safety sales tax measure, MOU with the city of Dickinson. I know that this was discussed briefly at our February 19th meeting. We had I think we had a couple of commissioners go visit with the city of Dickinson, and just to get some clarification on some things. So with that, we have in front of us, we have an actual joint powers agreement with the city of Dickinson. And this would be to move forward with the idea of a 1 cent sales tax, citywide sales tax. And the city of Dickinson has offered to partner with the Stark County and offered a 20% share of those sales tax revenues. And I guess just introducing it, I'd look for any comments or discussion on this, if anybody has any.
Well, Dean and I met with the group there, and
Satisfied?
we tried to bump that 20% up a little bit, but it was pretty much
Tough
set in stone.
negotiators, yeah.
Okay.
So that means, yeah, it's this funding, or this sales tax would go through public safety too.
Yes, yes. I mean, and that's, if you've all had an opportunity to review that. I mean, there is actually some definitions here, and it is, the funding is specific to safety and infrastructure regarding safety, manpower, equipment, so on and so forth. So, and technically, it includes personnel, equipment, facilities, technology, and capital improvements in relation to safety. So, with that, we have this, and I hope that you've all had an opportunity to read that MOU. I have myself. I think it's great, and I appreciate City Administrator Dossinger and Deputy Administrator showing up at our last minute meeting and, showing the need for this and why, just the why. I mean, I know that it's probably a situation where, well, it's just another tax, but I think that they spell it out pretty clearly, the necessity of it and the why. The why is important, and I think it's going to a good cause. So that said, I would look for a motion to approve going forward with the joint powers agreement with the city of Dickinson. So this would be on the June 9th primary ballot, correct, Karen?
Yes.
Right.
And it would be a referendum voted on at that time. In the event it actually were to pass, I think revenues would start coming into, is it March? April, okay, yeah, so,
I'll make the motion to go ahead with the safety sales tax measure and the MOU for the city of Dickinson.
okay. We have a motion. I would look for a second.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Any other discussion, concerns about this?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just think it's important to recognize that our share is at our discretion. We could, and I guess one man's view out of 5, I would definitely look at this as a property reduction opportunity, property tax reduction opportunity, as well as potentially improve public safety options and projects, not only citywide but countywide, to include our smaller communities. So, thank you.
I would echo your sentiment there. I think it's a great opportunity for us. So, okay, that said, we have a motion, we have a second. I think we probably should have a roll call vote on this. Okay. Commissioner Franchuk,
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh,
Aye.
Commissioner White,
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion approved. Okay, that is a done deal. Good luck. Thank you.
I guess we could ask them if they had anything they wanted to add to it.
Okay. All right, I know you folks have been waiting for a while. Welcome again. We have a presentation from a company called Gevo. Am I saying that right? Gevo?
Yeah, that's right.
Gevo and 06 Energy Introduction. They are the new owners, I believe, of the ethanol facility in Richardson, North Dakota. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Floor is yours.
Great. Well, thanks for your time. I'm Chris Ryan. I'm President and Chief Operating Officer of Gevo. And the reason I'm standing up here right now is we have a lot of growth projects going on at this site in Richardson that used to be Red Trail Energy. And those include designing a jet fuel production plant. And we're going to need to come to you for certain approvals. And I just want to get an introduction in front of you so that you have some context when that day comes. One of those approvals that we're going to be coming to you for probably is really going to be from 06, who's one of our partners. So I'll let them introduce themselves when they take the mic. With me, though, is a colleague from GEVO, Greg Hanselman. He's Vice President of Operations and Engineering. So I'm going to go through this relatively fast. Go ahead and stop me if you have any questions. No, it's not. So I don't know if you want to.
They
Put it
have
up.
their own PowerPoint, Kelly.
And one of the first slides we put up is I'm going to talk about the future and projections of the future, but you can't hold me accountable for it because we're a public company. So, but at GEVO, we were founded back in 2005 out of Caltech, and we're headquartered in Denver. And we've really been about new technologies from agricultural materials. I came from Cargill before I joined GEVO in 2009. I spent 17 years at Cargill before that developing a new plastic from corn.
Just a second. It's not up on the screen. Hang on.
You can put it up from you.
Huh?
If you want to put it up from your.
I got it up, but your
Great.
monitor,
I
your
don't know.
laptop's not. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Hang on. Well, no, hang on. Is your
Work on that, I'll keep talking.
Yep. Go ahead.
Thanks. Sorry about that. So I've been in the business of creating new products from agricultural materials for my whole career, which is 40 years now. And we continue to do that at GEVO, and we plan to roll out new products in Richardson. The thing that I really like about our plant is we have a great operations team in Richardson. We have a great set of farmer partners supplying all the corn and buying our animal feed. We have great support from the community. So we do have community meetings. We've done them, well, we've owned the plant now for a little over a year, and we've had 2. We have our 3rd community meeting coming up on April 7th in the evening, and everybody's welcome to attend. We just give an update on what we're doing. So at GEVO, we have 4 businesses. So we have a fuels business. So what we make in Richardson is ethanol, low carbon ethanol. But we're designing a plant to take that ethanol to jet fuel and make jet fuel. Thank you. Yeah, and so that's our fuels business. We have another business called Verity, and that's a tracking business where we work with farmers to be able to track any attribute a customer, like an airline, it needs to see and validate from the farm field all the way through the supply chain to, let's say, a gallon of jet fuel. And what would they want to track? Things like sustainability, because the airlines don't understand farming. They don't understand agriculture. There's a lot of bad perception out there by people that write policies, which is really bad. So we do a lot of work in advocating for agriculture. And Verity is a way we have to bring all the data together to show a customer, no, this really is better for the environment. This really is a low carbon fuel if low carbon is their goal. We also have a chemicals business, and we have a renewable natural gas business. Renewable natural gas business is our operation in northwest Iowa. We've got 3 large dairy farms where we've installed digesters. We take their manure, we make biogas. We pipeline the biogas to a central upgrading system where we upgrade the biogas to renewable gas or natural gas quality, and then we put that into a natural gas pipeline and book a sale. And so we've had that operating now since, well, it's 4 years now. So we're all about partnering with farmers and making new
I have a question.
products.
So the natural gas is equivalent to the other natural gases that
Yeah,
are out there?
it's all co-made. It's exactly the same once we get done upgrading it. Yep. So I just have a slide here, and we did send this in, so presumably you can all take a look at this if you want. We have our public numbers. So we are a public company, and what that means is all of our numbers are public. We file with the SEC. We have Deloitte for an auditor, and we have a pretty healthy balance sheet for a development company, and we're all about growth. We have about 168 employees, and that cuts across all disciplines. We have an engineering group, about 30 people. We've got finance and accounting, et cetera, et cetera. So the plant in Richardson, this, again, we bought it from Red Trail Energy. We took it over February 1st of last year, and we're really excited about it. And like I said, the reason we're excited, it's the people. Yes, it's a great facility. The reason it's a great facility, it's the people that are in the plant. So one of the things we're excited about, it's one of the only places where we're capturing CO2 out of our process and sequestering it underground. And then that allows you to generate a revenue stream from the CO2 that's a byproduct of making ethanol. That helps us make jet fuel in the future more affordable for the airlines. And how do you monetize CO2 when you sequester it? Well, there's low carbon fuel markets, like out in Oregon or up in Canada, where we ship our ethanol out there. We book our carbon value through those regulated markets. There's also voluntary markets where we go to people like, well, it's showing up here, all the big tech companies that are trying to reduce their carbon footprint because they want to build big data centers, and we can sell them carbon credits as well. So it's a great opportunity. I already mentioned Verity and our ability to track things all the way through the supply chain. But really what I want to emphasize is our jet fuel production goal, which right now we're designing a jet fuel production plant. Actually, we've been designing these plants for a number of years now. And the reason is because there's an increasing demand for jet fuel out in the future, which is not that hard to believe. And there's a belief that gasoline consumption is going to go down. And, you know, given that, the world needs more jet fuel, not as much gasoline. So the idea that we can take ethanol and make jet fuel from it makes a lot of sense. And so that's really what our focus is for the future. When we look at making jet fuel from ethanol, one of the reasons we're excited about that is that our operating cost to make the jet fuel is projected to be on par with petroleum jet fuel prices. And what that means for an airline is that we have a way to stack our revenues to meet our project returns and sell to the airline jet fuel that's competitive with petroleum jet fuel that they already buy today. And this is a busy graph, but it compares our technology with other technologies and the cost of that. And so if you know anything about renewable jet fuel production or renewable diesel production, this is unique in that its operating cost is very low. And basically that's because corn is cheap. Corn starch, which is actually the feedstock for this process, is even cheaper. So our plan at our site, this is an aerial view of our site, is to put the alcohol to jet or ethanol to jet process on our 500 acres, right next to the ethanol plant. So we would take the ethanol that's already being made today, convert it to jet fuel. We call this process ATJ30. And the reason is it's alcohol to jet, and it's going to be 30 million gallons of jet fuel. So it'll be 50 million gallons of ethanol going in, 30 million gallons of jet fuel coming out. You can see the word SAF, S-A-F. So that's because people have called this synthetic aviation fuel because we synthesize it versus distill it out of a barrel of oil. Some people say that refers to sustainable aviation fuel. It's whatever you want that to stand for. We don't really care. The world needs more jet fuel. We think we have a great way to do that using, you know, the farmers that supply us. And as we design this, we've designed the plant to be highly modular. So the modules would be built off-site. We'd bring them on-site, install the modules, build out the rest of the tanks and whatnot. And basically that would serve as a template for doing this over and over and over. And there's about 185 ethanol plants in the US today where you could think about deploying this kind of a process. So this is not just a one and done thing. Our view is to go ahead and copy paste it many times over.
Just a quick question. Is this process like proprietary to Gevo?
No, it's a technology we licensed in from a company called Axens that has the core process to convert ethanol to jet fuel. They've licensed a lot of different technologies to the oil industry. So they've got a deep experience there. Then what we did is we designed the entire process around that. That's the heart of the process we licensed in. And so, yes, there's some things that are proprietary to Gevo, but the core technology is licensed in. So just to point out, we're not new to jet fuel. We started making jet fuel from alcohol in 2011 down in Silsbee, Texas. We still run that facility. It's a demonstration facility, makes about 50,000 gallons a year. It actually is now producing isooctane for Formula One racing. They need low carbon fuel, and our isooctane is a high performance fuel. We started that facility in 2011 so we could start supplying the U.S. Air Force, and then we proceeded to supply the Navy, the Marines, Coast Guard. Basically, all of the defense industry wanted to test the fuel, verify that it's the same as the jet fuel they're already buying, and that resulted in getting ASTM certified fuel about 6 years after we started that facility. And so our jet fuel is the same as petroleum jet fuel. It's been cleared to use in commercial aircraft, which we've used. So that's the story about Gevo. That's our goal for the Richardson site. We're doing a lot of different things for growth, expanding the plant and things like that. But the jet fuel production is probably the most exciting because it represents a new use for corn. And right now the farmers could use a new use for corn. So
your customers, you're shipping your product in which direction?
So right now we're making jet fuel in just a demonstration scale, okay? But the contracts we have signed up are typically airlines that have agreed to buy our jet fuel.
So you'd be shipping like to Minneapolis or to Denver, or where would you be going?
Yep,
To
it
the hubs?
depends upon where the airlines are. So Denver would require a deal with United. United hasn't signed up with us yet. One of the reasons is when you go call on an airline, you say, would you like to buy some jet fuel made from renewable resources? They say, yeah. And then you say, yeah, it's made from corn. They say, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Corn's bad. Yeah, it's bad for the environment. So it's a whole education process that we've been engaged in. And so Delta Airlines has been, and by the way, what we do, we owned a small ethanol plant in Minnesota. And what we did is we started bringing in airlines and their corporate clients to Laverne, Minnesota, where our small ethanol plant is. And we showed them an ethanol plant and said, okay, here's where it starts, convert corn to ethanol. Then, more importantly, we take them to one of our farmer partners, a guy by the name of Sean Fikema in Laverne, Minnesota, and he teaches them how corn is grown. And this is an all-day event. And they walk away with their eyes opened. They say, oh my God, I had no idea. The amount of technology and the precision in ag was like they had no idea. And so Delta Airlines was an airline that we convinced. They've signed offtake agreements with us. But we had the big corporate, like the Microsoft and Gates Foundation and a long list of corporates that don't have a positive view on ag, brought them in and really, I think we successfully changed their view. So, so just to finish the question there, so we sell to the airlines, but we're actually selling beyond the airline to their corporate clients, because those corporate clients are actually the ones that are going to buy like the carbon credits. The airlines just buy the jet fuel.
So then you would be selling to would like individual private airports be buying your product also? And
so right now we have to have about 3/4 of our plant. So if we're making 30 million gallons, we have to have over 20 million gallons pre-sold.
Of course.
So that would be
contracts for
the
that.
big airlines, right? But then we'll have, let's say, 5 to 10 million gallons. We'll just sell in the merchant market. So then we could go anywhere with those
then
gallons.
Pollutants out of your product versus fossil-based, is that pretty similar?
It's lower out of our process
I would think that it
because,
probably would be.
well, yeah, because when you make jet fuel from petroleum, you're distilling it out of a barrel of oil. And there's some really nasty cats and dogs that come along with that jet fuel that contribute to air pollution. The thing is like people don't care. Yeah,
No, they don't.
like we're not going to change the world reducing air pollution that way. But yeah, it is burns cleaner.
on carbon credits. Now you're putting the carbon into the ground, which gives you so much credit, and then you sell these credits to people in Oregon or wherever that, and they don't actually have the carbon in the ground, but they're buying your credits. Is that the way that works?
That's right. So in Canada and Oregon and other places, those are regulated markets where they have to use low carbon fuels. So the carbon credit effectively travels with the ethanol. So when they buy the ethanol, they're getting the carbon credit, and then we get paid carbon value. It's published in their markets. Or we can disassociate the carbon credit from the ethanol gallon and sell it into the voluntary market. So this would be people like Microsoft that want to buy carbon credits. So it gives us those options. Now there's another option we're creating as we look to do jet fuel, and that's enhanced oil recovery. And so we have had, the Department of Energy has given us a conditional commitment for a loan guarantee. And it started we have a site down South Dakota that they gave it to us for, but recently they allowed us to transfer that up to North Dakota. Under the condition that we have an enhanced oil recovery component in our project. So now you can use CO2 to put down the hole where you're pumping oil out and get more oil out of it, right? It's a big deal in North Dakota, makes a lot of sense. And so we're rolling that, a small piece of our CO2 will go to enhanced oil recovery, where we've been talking to the local companies that pump oil out of North Dakota.
So now carbon credits, is that something that can actually be traded, like on in the markets?
Yep. Yes. And we're involved in that. It's an early market, it's a nascent market, okay? So you can read a lot about prices and volumes, but actually, unless you're in it, you don't know what the real facts are. Because a lot of that market is people are buying carbon credits for projects that'll exist in the future.
Right.
Like if you're familiar with the Summit Carbon Solutions Pipeline, we're very familiar with it because we have a site down in South Dakota. They pre-sold a lot of their carbon credits for a pipeline that doesn't exist. We ended up picking up some of those as customers because we said, we're sequestering carbon today, and you can go see it. It's right there in Richardson. So,
And are you pumping your own carbon in?
so yeah, so Red Trail Energy started the carbon sequestration project and started up in 2022. And they had a lot of foresight to do that. And so we're one of 3 ethanol plants in the country that's doing that.
And then what formation are you pumping that down into?
The Broom Creek formation.
And
It's a
there's not
great,
many places that have that type of formation that they can actually store the carbon in, right?
what was the question?
North Dakota's pretty.
North Dakota is pretty much, as far as storing carbon, is there's not many places in the country that you can actually store carbon in.
Yeah, in fact, we hired Battelle to do due diligence on the well before we bought the facility, and they said that's probably the best formation they've seen for CO2 sequestration, right where we're sitting on the Broom Creek. Yep. So, and so I want to introduce 06. So the reason that we can make low carbon jet fuel is we're going to use low carbon corn as a feedstock. What's low carbon corn? Basically all the corn that's grown is low carbon. And then we use low carbon energy to drive the process to convert the corn into the jet fuel. And where do we get low carbon energy? That's 06 is our partner to do that. So invite them to come up.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, commissioners, for having us here. As Chris said, 06 Energy, just quickly as a company, we're headquartered in Minnesota. We've been around for a long time, over 30 years. Built a number of projects over the years, mostly in kind of 10-state Midwest, so out here in the Dakotas, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. We've got about 60 people on our own team, private company, yeah, we've been owning and operating. In addition to developing projects, we have been engineering, owning, and operating projects for almost 15 years. Just quickly, we've worked with Gevo now for over 8 years as a partner. I describe ourselves as a all-of-the-above energy company. We literally have some people on our team earning some revenues in some shape or form working through just about every kind of energy generation technology right now. We've got engineers that work for nuclear operators. We do quite a bit of work designing natural gas generation projects. Most of those are owned by other developers and the like, but we do a lot of work in natural gas. We've done a lot of work wind and solar. We own 15 small hydroelectric dams. So we kind of have a good picture across technologies. In conjunction with GEVO, our goal is to find what is the right fit that helps to maximize the value of their product and that fits for the location that they're in. So, looking at the opportunity around the Richardton facility there, again, the area is blessed with a lot of different resources, ample access to natural gas, the ability to sequester CO2 close to on site, plentiful wind resource, around. So there's a lot of good resources that are there and available. So that's the drawing board that we've been working from. And so we're looking at different options. We are, by our nature, like I said, we work to develop, own, and operate projects over the whole life cycle. And so by nature, we are cooks. I'd like to say cooks that tend to eat our own food, not just cook for other people. So whatever we're looking at, whatever we will ultimately design there, we look at it as a long-term project. We know that as it supplies energy to the GEVO facility in Richardton, it's going to be there for a long time. We want to be there. GEVO wants to be there. So when we design and think about things, it's a 40-year life. It's a 50-year life. It's not just, let's go do something that can, build it and sell it. So that's by our nature. That's what we look to do. There's some examples there of not just GEVO, but we work with a lot of different ethanol and biofuel companies. Chevron REG in Iowa, wind turbines with GEVO in Minnesota, and with ethanol plant down in Kansas. Ford, we did a large natural gas turbine project for. And actually, interestingly, the project down in the far right hand there is a cogeneration project, natural gas-driven cogeneration project with the largest ethanol company or largest ethanol plant in the country, which is one of the question that the commissioner asked before. It's one of the other very few ethanol plants in the country that's like Richardson that sits on a formation where you can actually sequester CO2 underneath it. So that's in Illinois. Won't get into an argument about whose formation is better. They'd argue that
All you have
theirs
to
is
do is
good.
remember whose room you're standing in.
I got no problem agreeing with you on that one. But at any rate, that's a large part of the purpose of that facility there is that it'll burn natural gas and eventually be able to sequester some of that flue gas there alongside of what they have from their ethanol plant. So we've got experience across all. We've been working here since GEVO acquired the facility at looking at options, again, for natural gas driven technologies that can use the sequestration and also for wind. And so we continue to do that work. We spent quite a bit of time looking throughout areas that are within, call it 15 miles of the plant, kind of in all directions. Our nature is to try to find, good sizable pockets of neighbors that want to work together, want to work with us, and, ultimately work for energy that can supply the plant. We will likely come or plan to come start a permitting process relatively soon to do an application. Our interest is to start a first phase and to come to you and look at permitting a first phase of wind that would supply just the ethanol plant at this stage. So it's something that is, in front of us. We'll get those details together. We know, the ordinance in Stark County is very difficult. We've done a lot of work that we think will meet uniquely almost all of the aspects of the ordinance. There could be couple of variances that will need to be asked for as part of that, but That will be coming in the next couple months, processing that. It's a small phase. It would be likely, 4 or 5 turbines. Again, our interest is what electricity can supply the plant. That's the whole purpose of what can be used on site in order to help make the fuel most valuable. So that's a little bit about us and what we do, but again, thank you for your time, and this is kind of a.
Yeah, just to give you some context, I didn't mention it, but our investment to build out the ethanol to jet plant would be, for the base plant, would be about $500 million. And then we need low carbon energy, that's another few $100 million, just depending upon which way we go. So, and then you add in some other expenses and whatnot, you're about $1 billion kind of investment. And so we've had discussions ongoing now for a number of years from, it's typically private equity companies that are interested in this kind of a project, and then the Department of Energy for a loan. So, that gives you a sense of order of magnitude.
So when you do this carbon storage, I mean, we have very porous ground back there. There's got to be a point. How do you know how much you can put down there?
Yeah. So it's impressive. For me, this is all new to me. So they can monitor what they call the plume of CO2 underground. So we sequester, it's about 6,300 feet underground. And, yep.
Up and down, or?
6,300 feet
Straight
down.
Okay.
And then working with EERC, they actually can use techniques to monitor how the CO2 is spreading out.
Right.
And so you track that, and then typically you're getting a 20-year permit to put CO2 underground, and then you lease the land that represents that entire plume over the course of 20 years. Yeah, but you do constant monitoring of that plume. So it's mind-boggling, actually.
Yeah, I haven't grasped it, so even though you told me this, that
Yeah.
hasn't affected my.
Yeah, but the CO2 is down there and it gets mineralized is what happens, so.
So then, maybe this is not right. You're selling carbon credits, is that okay? And is that like selling Bitcoins?
I guess depends upon your view
Because
of Bitcoins.
Bitcoins is over here and carbon credits.
So carbon credits, so people, well, number one, most of our carbon credits are going with the ethanol
Right.
into a regulated
It's still a
market.
credit that you're just giving them, they're just got this, that says.
That's right, and then they meet the regulatory requirement. So like out in Oregon, there's a requirement that fuel producers have to make fuels that have a carbon
Yes, I understand that.
score. Yeah,
And,
okay.
and you're storing it over here and you're selling it to them. And so anyway, I'm just
Yep.
trying to formulate all this
Yeah,
in
yeah,
my
yep.
mind here, so.
Yep, California's a big market for low carbon fuels. Their carbon value is
That's,
very
that's
low
why I asked
right
if
now.
it's something that can be actually traded and on.
Yeah,
on the
well,
stock.
it can be if you disassociate the carbon credit from the
from the
ethanol
carbon.
gallon and go into the voluntary market. So there's relatively little of our CO2 that's going into the voluntary market. So, but it's a real way that, so if you're a company like Meta and you're going to build a data center, which is a huge energy hog, a huge carbon footprint, and you're like, okay, I want to offset my carbon footprint. You know, the world has gone down the road of, well, let's give some money to somebody that's going to plant trees halfway around the world. And I think they've concluded that, yeah, well, that's kind of hard to police. When you come out to Richardson, we'll show you the well. We'll show you the pictures of the plume. That CO2 is going down there. And that's CO2 that the corn plant, when it grew, it soaked up CO2 from the air.
Absolutely.
We bring the corn into the plant, run it through fermentation, the CO2 comes out.
That's right.
It goes down the ground. So the CO2 was there last year, it's now there. People get that. It's really easy to explain, and that has value.
When was that well drilled?
Well, they started operating in 2022,
Okay.
so would have been the year before.
So it doesn't really change, like, the companies that are purchasing this from, say, Oregon and Canada, the carbon credits that you're talking about, It's not changing any of their processes to make them better. They're just purchasing your carbon credits so that way they can say that they are
In the-
green certified in the scheme of things.
When the carbon credit goes with ethanol, so they're buying low carbon ethanol from us. That's really what they're doing. There's not a separate carbon credit. It's just carbon, the CO2 we've sequestered, it reduces our carbon score for the ethanol. So they're buying low carbon ethanol. So when they blend it in the gasoline, their fuel is lower carbon than if they didn't blend our ethanol.
But they're not changing anything of their actual practices.
No. So the gasoline suppliers are not. When we're talking about like data centers and somebody buying carbon credits, yeah, well, that's a different game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, should they be actually using low carbon energy? That'd be a good question.
That's what I was wondering. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Unless you have any other questions?
Any other questions, guys?
About the time you walk out the door, I'll think of something.
Yeah.
I know our emergency.
I got all day.
manager.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming and
thank you.
introducing yourself. I guess we'll be visiting with you in the future here. So, okay, very good. Yeah. I guess with that, we are going to move towards a break, but before we do that, I was just gonna mention that, the Home on the Range actually brought us a thank you card. Here this last summer in our budget, discussions, we actually donated $50,000 to Home on the Range, and they brought a thank you card. Thank you for your support and helping us add to our school billing, to better serve our kids. So I think that was really thoughtful, and they also brought us cookies. So,
Just in time.
just in time for break, so I would, move to, for a 10-minute break. Is that good? That work? this county commission meeting back to order. Do we still have Commissioner Messer with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, moving on. Okay, we have some county road bid openings here. Auditor Richard's going to take a minute and open those and make sure that they have all the appropriate paperwork, and then we're gonna pass that on to Todd for review quick.
Who was the first one?
The
So I
first,
guess- Go ahead.
oh, do
Sorry.
you want me to do it? Okay. The first one is just from Northern Improvement, and that's for hot bituminous pavement.
So I guess just for the public to know what we're up to here is we're taking in bid pricing from local operators for various tasks that the road and bridge crew would use throughout the year, right?
Correct.
And I'm just checking to make sure they have the required certificate of insurance and contractor's license for the project.
So these would be for like, yeah, hot bituminous, gravel crushing, stockpiling, anything else in there? Is there equipment as well?
There
Equipment
is,
rental?
I'm on to
And
gravel
and fencing?
crushing and stockpiling. And that was for Fisher Sand and Gravel. They have all their stuff. This one says gravel hauling, scoria hauling bid. And that's for Jurgens Operating. They have their insurance and contractors. Do you want to open my next one?
I was wondering if you wanted me to do that.
I feel like we should be playing like music from like Jeopardy or something.
I'm not sure. This is Total Control Incorporated, and this is from Two's Construction.
Same bunch.
Is it one of their bunch?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this looks good from Total Control and Two's Construction. Todd, if you want to start looking them over, I'll hand some off to you. These ones. Okay. Another one from Northern Improvement for equipment rental. From Bronco Brothers for equipment rental. From Halibichuk Construction for equipment rental. From Schwartz Construction for equipment rental.
Sorry.
I might have accidentally stapled it. Okay. From K&T Services, says rental equipment bid for seeding and erosion. From Ty Newton Fencing for fencing. From Ruckus Services LLC, also for fencing.
That's it.
This one.
These are the ones you reviewed? Okay.
They need more. Okay. And then lastly, we have from Tesher Fencing for fencing. And that is all the ones that were submitted on time with the appropriate documentation
So it's-
order.
It's confirmed, everybody's got the appropriate documentation and insurance, so and so, or is he doing that back there?
He's reviewing one last thing, so we usually move on, and then he just, we'll get
Yep.
back to him, and then he'll tell us it's good, and then we'll make the motion to
Okay,
approve them all.
we'll come back to this when Todd's got a moment to review all of that. We will move forward on the agenda items. Planning and zoning, we've been, County Planner Steve Josephson, if you can come up, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Josephson, County Planner. There were 7 items that were brought to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Last Thursday, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of all of them, which was also the staff recommendation, so we'll just get into it. The first one is RZ 01-2026, Dakota Hayes rezoning was requesting a rezoning from agriculture to estate residential for approximate 11.7 acre property. As stated, both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommend approval, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Any questions about this application? If not, I would look for a motion to approve RZ 01-2026.
So moved.
No second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Okay, moving forward.
MSP 02-2026, St. Dakota Hayes minor subdivision. It's the Wolf Acres subdivision. The applicant is Dakota Hayes. It's associated with the rezoning that you just approved. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommended approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you. We have the application in front of us for MSP 02-2026, application by Dakota Hayes for Wolf Acres subdivision. I would look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Moving forward, MSP 03, 2026, application from Russ and Christian Schmidt.
Well, actually, we have one before that.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
Did I miss one?
That's RZ 02-2026. It's Russ and Kristen Smith.
Okay.
They are requesting a rezoning for a 10-acre property from agriculture to agricultural residential. There's also a minor subdivision plat associated with that. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommended approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have about that.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions? If not, I'd look for a motion to approve RZ 02, 2026, application from Russ and Christian Schmidt.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, moving forward, Planner
Okay, then
Josephson.
The next one is the associated minor subdivision plat, MSP 03-2026. Again, this is the same applicants, Russ and Kristen Schmidt. They are requesting approval of a subdivision, the R&K Schmidt subdivision for approximately 10 acres. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommended approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have about that.
So you got two plots you're doing here? What-
No, just one.
Just one.
Just one. No, the previous one was Dakota Hayes.
Yeah.
So this one's MSP
I
03-2026.
thought the other one was you guys, okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve MSP 03, 2026, application by Russ and Christian Schmidt, providing a plat of the R&K Schmidt subdivision. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Okay, the next three are zoning code amendments. The first one is an amendment to, it's ZTA 01-2026. It's an amendment to section 3.10, that's the floodplain management portion of the zoning ordinance. The state Department of Water Resources has asked all local governments that participated in the flood insurance program to amend their ordinances and regulations. All this does is just change the citations to the parts of the Century Code that apply to floodplain management. Both Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommend approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Make a motion to approve ZTA 01-2026.
okay, we have a motion.
Amendment.
I'll second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? If not, I'd look for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Okay, the next one, ZTA 02-2026. It's amending section 6.3 of the zoning code for commercial feedlots. Essentially, this brings the zoning ordinance into compliance with state regulations. This has been reviewed by both the Department of Environmental Quality, it's the North Dakota Stockmen's Association, and also the county agent, Mr. Freilich, reviewed this and approved it. Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommend approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Very good. Any questions? If not, I'd look for a motion to approve ZTA 02, 2026.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? If not, I'd look for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. Okay.
The last one, it's ZTA 03-2026. This is to amend parts of the zoning code to allow for consistency. From time to time, I'll go through the zoning ordinance and try to find things that need to be changed since the if there's any disagreement within the ordinance. The first one is section 4.1 is just, it refers to the zoning districts as agricultural district, and the other one is agriculture residential. It would just change that name so so that it's consistent with what you find in chapter 5. The other one is to section 5.6, which is the commercial zoning district. We have a agronomy center that, and this is just one of the amendments would be putting down, clarifying that an agronomy center is a permitted use in the commercial zoning district, and that the other one is to add agricultural chemicals, fertilizer, and anhydrous ammonia storage and distribution for commercial use as a conditional use. One has already been approved, but this is just clarifying for sure that one can obtain that through the conditional use process. And then the last one is to change section 7.17, that's in the subdivision section where it says that trees in a subdivision have to be placed at least 100 feet from the center line of a county road. There, section 3.6, another section of it has as 125. So this is just to make those two parts of the code consistent. Both the Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommended approval, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
So what is the distance on the trees now then? Which one did you decide on, or did you?
125. They would agree with each other, so it would be amended from 100 to 125.
Under, Mr. Josephson, under what district are we doing that 125?
Oh, no, that's not in a district. That's from county roads. And that this section is in the subdivision section. It says 100 feet from county roads, but in chapter 3, it says 125 feet. So it just makes those two sections, consistent.
So we're adding another 92 feet from the right-of-way to a potential tree line?
No, it would be, it's 125 right now in one section, but in another section, it says 100 feet.
Okay, so why didn't we go to the 100 feet versus the 125?
I had discussions with the road superintendent about that, and that was the preferred distance. That was the preferred distance, so we had a case before where somebody wanted a variance for 125 feet, and I had asked if we wanted to have that changed, and the road superintendent said, leave that at 125 feet.
Because just in recent history here, we just had a variance application. I mean, it made sense because of the way things were in that particular case. So it still gives us some leeway. We can always have a variance to the 125.
Yeah, that's correct. But if there's two things in the zoning ordinance that regulate the setback, they should agree.
Agreed. Okay.
So on a 5-acre tract in a residential subdivision that borders county roadway, right-of-way, we're gonna prohibit them from planting trees to the 125, which might be the last 92 feet of their property.
Right now, it would be set back 125 feet.
And this is from the center line of the road.
This is from the center line of the road. And the understanding I have that that's a preferable distance both for any work in the right-of-way or also for plowing, for plowing the road and where the snow starts to accumulate. So it's a safety issue.
I disagree. So the old provision of 100 feet under 717, which you are now amending to 125, which is coming compliant with your highway county road setback ordinance. Has there been any other issues other than the one we recently for the north of Taylor there gave the variance?
No, there has not. But this is a case of one thing is highway setbacks, which is what the 125 feet is under. But the other thing, this is in the subdivision section. And I don't know why they're different, why it was approved that way, but it just makes them consistent.
How is that consistent throughout the other counties? Pretty similar? Is it 125 feet?
In some places it's more and in some places it's less. I actually saw a county, I think it was Billings, where it was 129 feet. I've seen 150 feet in other counties.
But
There must be, you said some that were less. How much less were they?
I'm trying to, I don't have that in front of me right
They also
now.
must have more trees than we do.
Well, right away is over
I
the,
just,
go ahead.
yeah, I'm gonna say in the industry I'm in, I'm trying to find a situation where I would go out and try to market a 5-acre rural subdivision and, tell the potential buyers, hey, you can have a great time, you can do whatever you want out on this property, but this last 92 feet of your property, you cannot, plant trees. When they may want, when you're up against a county road right away, a lot of times there's dust, just like the Taylor one was, and they want trees to kind of help that. I'm in the, I can't imagine how many times in the county we have a situation where snow would accumulate and become an issue if it's 100 feet from the center line versus 125, and I see Todd's up, so help me explain this.
Okay. Todd Miller, Road Superintendent, the reason for being that 125 feet is during where roads are being constructed. If that needs to be constructed, at least your trees are out of those way, or say if the hill has to be cut back, majority under construction stuff is usually the right of way is out beyond that 125 feet, I mean that 100 feet, or right at the 100-foot mark, or to make your cut correctly to build that road. That way, if somebody put in new trees, you're not have to take them out and replant again. That's basically, but I think it's still 120, it's already 125 feet on the county road right away.
Right.
But in the subdivisions, it's 100 feet, right?
And I don't have any problem with the 125 as much
Okay.
as when someone
That's all I
owns,
can say about the 100.
yeah, when someone owns 160 acres, it's a little different than when somebody owns 5 acres.
Correct.
Right? And so, I just, I'm opposed to the changing the subdivision 1 to 125, but thanks for answering my question.
Keep in mind that the internal roads in the subdivisions, they're not county roads. They aren't county roads, so this would not affect, if you're
That's
within a
not-
subdivision, it's not.
That's not the one, that's not the point I'm making. I'm talking about a county road where the subdivision property goes right up to the county right of way. I'm saying we're reducing the people's, the property owners' right to enjoy their property and plant it the way they want to by a significant amount, by 92 feet. I'm sorry, I struggle with that, but we can move on.
I don't think it's not an invalid point. I mean, I get what we're trying to do is we're trying to be consistent across the code, for sure. That was the goal here for this and the ones previous as well. But I
don't
do,
think I don't think there's an issue with the current 100, or, in the, 100 feet in the subdivisions and 125 on, not on agricultural property. I don't think there's any problem. I don't think we need to, over-regulate this, so.
well, I mean, just to be clear, Neil, did you hear Superintendent Miller and his explanation as far as construction? I think he's trying to forego trying to, take out trees. Typically, that 125-foot setback keeps them from destroying trees on a new road build, right?
Well, yeah, so, but, I mean, I drive through the county and look at rural subdivisions a lot, and I'm just going, very seldom do you see a rural subdivision where you're gonna have a hill issue where you gotta, get into that. This is a private property rights issue for me. We're telling people what to do with their property. I could see on an on an agricultural piece of land, and then all of a sudden we want to build that road up and do for whatever purposes. We've done it before, we'll do it again. But when you're adjacent to a rural subdivision, residential subdivision, those lots typically aren't as big, and so there's less leeway, there's less forgiveness for these people who own these rural lots.
So just going to contract law, so when we go build a road, a county road, typically we get an easement from the landowners. What's the width of those easements typically? Because this may be
A construction easement,
no, just to have a county road, typically what's the width of a county road right of way?
33 feet on each
33
side of the
feet
section.
That's all.
Each side, that's the right of way.
Well, I know that there's right of ways much wider than that in this county.
There is.
If I may,
Yeah,
Commissioner,
along
I'm
Highway
sorry.
10, along Highway 10, we own the right of way all the way out to the fence line on Highway 10, all the way from one end of the county to the other. Most of the right of way in the county roads are at 33 feet from the center of the road. There's a few areas that we purchased. I know one south of Antelope area, the right of way is like 75 feet out. There's some up in the northern part of Dickinson too, as well, along the county roads. Some are purchased when that construction was done with federal funding. Sometimes the federal government requires you to purchase that right away, and some of that has been purchased at 75 feet out. I'm aware
So
Oh.
of-
we're not super consistent across the board in the county as far as width.
If I may, Commissioners, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If I may, Commissioners, may I suggest something?
Sure.
Is that for your motion, you strike the amendment to 717.
Okay.
Approve, go ahead and act on the other ones, and we can send 717 back to the Planning and Zoning Commission for discussion.
Okay. I think it probably warrants that. I think it's a good point, Neil. I get where you're coming at with this. I think initially the goal of the commission was to try to make things consistent across the board. Maybe, one size doesn't fit all on this particular case, so
Yep,
potentially.
and I understand and appreciate that, no
Yeah.
problem.
So I guess I would look for a motion to move forward with the approval of ZTA 03/2026, excluding the portion of section 7.17 tree planting, and we
So
can,
moved.
okay, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion approved. So I guess we can bring this back up for discussion at planning and zoning level and look
Yes,
at
we'll
that.
do that sometime in the future.
Okay.
And maybe try to do some research into why those numbers are different.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe the other one needs to change.
pardon?
Maybe the 125 needs to change to
Maybe,
100.
maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Very
but
good.
we'll work, that'd be something we'd work with the road
Well,
superintendent
and I
on.
appreciate your effort, Steve, I know you've been going through the code
Yep.
a lot lately, trying to get things
But,
consistent and
a
clean
lot
up
of
things
this,
here,
yeah,
so.
a lot of this came up with that one, in Taylor, where apparently the Soil Commission was telling people, well, the setback for county roads is this amount, and it was really a different amount. And then I'm going through the code and I'm finding something, it's different in two places. So I don't totally get the logic of why they're different, but we tend to like internal consistency, so everybody out there can get the same answer. So
10-4.
we
Okay.
can try and look at why,
Sure.
where that came from, so.
Okay.
It's probably best that we keep that dust as close to the road as we possibly can.
Yeah.
There you go. Or if we decide there's no need to go through with amending this, we'll just leave them different.
Okay.
We'll leave them different in each section.
Very good. Okay. Thank
Okay,
you,
thank
Planner
you.
Josephson. Okay, can we bring Todd? Okay.
I think he's done.
Are we done? Yeah. Okay.
Todd's
Todd,
done. We can make that.
That's a housekeeping issue. Todd, why don't you come up here and let's finish that section out, those bids that we brought in. Okay.
So I
So
would
if-
make a motion to approve all these.
Okay, so there's a motion to approve all the bids for contract work to the county,
Correct.
okay? I'd look for a second.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. Okay, Elena, thank you for your patience. We have in front of us, we have a radio tower lease agreement. Our emergency manager, Elena Scott, go ahead.
Yep, so this is for a tract of land we have up on Radar Base Hill. It's actually owned by Dave Bauer. We have a small building up there that is on his piece of land, and it is used by Ham Radio and Civil Air Patrol for some of their radio equipment. So I just took the previous lease, changed the date. I'm just looking for a renewal, a 5-year renewal to rent that land from Dave Bauer at the cost of $300 every year.
Okay, very good. If no questions or comments, I would look for a motion to approve the renewal of the lease agreement with Mr. Dave Bauer for the radio tower site on
I move
Radar Base Hill.
that we renew the lease for the radio tower.
Okay. Can I get a second?
A second.
Okay, we have a second. I guess there's money involved. We better have a roll call vote here. Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Okay. Commissioner Franchuk.
Aye.
Commissioner White.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer. Chair votes aye. Motion approved. Okay, moving forward, we have, did you have a contract amendment for SRF?
Yep, so SRF is the company we contracted for our multi-hazard mitigation plan that includes us with 3 other counties, Billings, Dunn, and Golden Valley. We're in the final stages of it. They've gone through 2 reviews, and through those 2 reviews, there's been the need for some revisions in order to make sure it's going to go through FEMA. So they are asking if they can up the contract from $90,752 to, oh, what was it, 100,752, so an extra $10,000. The grant we received maxed out at $93,185.34. So at a most, at the time of the grant, each county would be responsible for $5,824 on each end. This would up it to $7,712.75.
So in a sense, the scope, I guess the extent of the scope changed on this particular deal as far as just work goes, and they're just looking for a change.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And so we are partnered with 3 other counties?
Yep, Dunn, Billings, and Golden Valley.
Okay, so we would all pick up our proportionate share of that $10,000. So, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Extra $2,500 for us. Okay. Any questions from anyone? If not, I would look for a motion to approve the change order, I guess that's what we're gonna call this,
That's essentially what it is, yeah.
of the contract, to move the contract from 93,000,
$90,000.
$90,752 to
$100,000.
$100,752, an additional $10,000 to complete the services from SRF for our emergency, or excuse me, our multi-hazard mitigation plan update.
Excuse me, I wrote 93,185.34. What was that number come from?
That's the max that the grant was awarded. So we contracted at 90, they gave them some wiggle room at 93. So total back, we're gonna get about 69,000 back from the grant, and then the reimbursements from the other county. So Stark County should only be out, if you guys approve this, Stark County would only be out that $7,000.
I was trying to follow along. My computer manually forced me to.
Me and Karen were talking about this on the phone the other day, there was a lot of numbers flying around.
Okay. Okay.
It's starting up, I think, now. Okay.
Okay, so, once again, there's a request for a change order to this contract with SRF on the table. I would look for a motion to approve. I would look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a motion. Can I get a second? I'll offer the second. Roll call vote or discussion, any further discussion? If not, I'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Franchuk.
Aye.
Commissioner White.
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh.
Aye.
Commissioner Messer.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion approved.
Thank you.
Okay, done deal. Okay, let's see here. We have got now tuition reimbursements, HR manager, Joetta Piercy. Go ahead.
Thank you. I have 2 tuition reimbursement this quarter. The first one is for Ryan Fay. He is going to finish up his degree and has one class left to do it. The estimated cost is $754.68, and we can reimburse up to a maximum of $1,500.
Okay. And last name Fahey, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, he's with the sheriff's office. Okay, if you've reviewed your packet, there's a little description of what the course he took and so on and so forth. So I would look for a motion to approve the request by Ryan Fahey in the amount of $754.68 for tuition reimbursement.
So moved.
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussions? If not, I'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner White?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk?
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion approved. Okay.
Okay. Our second application is for Brad Banyai. He is getting his bachelor's in emergency management and homeland security. He is taking 2 courses from Columbia Southern this semester, and the estimated cost is $1,738, and we can award up to a maximum of $1,500.
Okay. Very good. I would look for a motion to approve. I guess this would be for maximum of $1,500. A motion to approve $1,500 for tuition reimbursement to Bradley Banyai from our emergency management department.
Make the motion to approve 1,500.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussions? If not, I'll take a roll call vote. Commissioner White?
Aye.
Commissioner Franchuk?
Aye.
Commissioner Messer?
Aye.
Commissioner Marsh?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion approved.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a couple of applications here. Actually, it's just one application from this, right?
Yes.
American Legion, Matthew Brew, post number 3. They are looking at getting a gaming license out of Green 19 Grill and Lounge, which is our golf course in Dickinson here, which is comes under the county's jurisdiction. Go ahead, Auditor Richard.
Okay, so the American Legion for Dickinson approached the county. They would like to put pull tab gaming machines out at the Green 19 golf course. There's currently no pull tab machines or gaming at the golf course. The only other location that we have that has come through the county is the Leffer Club. So we only have one, so this would only be our second location that we have. In order for them to put those gaming machines out there, they do need approval from the commission, as the golf course is in the county's jurisdiction. I put on here that they want to put in 5 electronic gaming devices and 2 regular pull tab devices. And they provided the lease and then the gaming site authorization form, and they would need to send in their paperwork to the AG's office if the commission approves. But it's entirely up to the commission if they want to allow gaming out at that location.
Do we charge a fee at the county level for this gaming permit?
Not really, because we only ever had one gaming site. We haven't really established that, so.
Should we establish that?
I mean, I could, definitely we could, but for this year, I wouldn't probably surprise them with that.
Just was curious what the process was. I know okay.
Do they have approval from the owner of the facility? How does that all work?
Yep.
They obviously must.
Yeah, they have a lease agreement. I think how it works, Commissioner Messer, is they have a lease agreement in place with the proprietor, and they need to pay them monthly. I guess Bernie could probably even chime in on some of this. He knows they pay them monthly for rent to have their machines in the building, I believe.
So once we approve this, if for example, American Legion, let's say the golf course decided that American Legion wasn't going to be the person that's renting the facility, this isn't just authorizing there to be unlimited gaming at Green 19. Every year they have to come back for a renewal through the county. And so if it's a different organization that Green 19 decides to work with and use, then that would also have to come back before the county.
And Green 19 is using who?
No one as of now.
They
They
just
don't-
want the opportunity.
Well, that Matthew Brew Post number 3 is the applicant. They're the nonprofit that's got the gaming organization. They're trying to put their machines out there.
Where's that organization based out of?
Right here.
Dickinson.
That's our
It's
Matthew
American,
Brew?
American Legion.
American Legion.
Oh, okay.
What, I mean, are we gonna go like July through July, or how is our contracts gonna work?
These are usually updated through the AG's office yearly.
But I think mine in Dickinson, I think they're like July through July, I think, but I could be wrong.
It's kind of funny on their application, they actually have their beginning period of April 1st and their ending date June 30th.
That's because the golf course is only open that
Sure.
for those
It's,
April, May, June
Oh, I'm sure it's
timeframe.
open beyond
I'm
June.
guessing.
it's beyond June, for sure. It's
I've been
through
out there golfing in October.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
a good statement there, but that's all they had on there with their rental agreement.
I mean, to just
I
look
wonder if
out,
that's when it starts over again in July, I think, I wonder if the state's.
Oh, that's why you're thinking
That's
maybe
why
the
I'm saying
cutoff
July
is
through
June?
July.
so they're gonna have another application
We're
probably
gonna
July
have to have
1st.
probably
I
another
think- I don't
rental
know, I mean,
agreement and
You're
application.
probably
I think
right.
that I do, but.
I would
I
think
only
you're
deal
right.
with one site a year and that's the only site we've ever had, and so it's the same process. I know.
But I could be
Theirs
wrong,
is
too. I
closer
could be
to,
wrong.
no,
think
it
you're
was a
right.
little sooner. Our liquor and beer is December.
Right.
Because they're on the fiscal year
Yes.
calendar at the state level. So
Yes,
that there's
theirs
probably
is
gonna
a
need to
little
be
sooner.
a reapplication in July 1st, I suspect. Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't know a whole bunch about the gaming authorization. That I kind of, if you want to move forward with approval, then we send it to the AG's office, and if they have issues.
Is there, I guess I shut my computer off already, is there, what they're paying in rent, is that on there?
Yes.
Yes, monthly rent, it says, was it that $750 to $1,000
Oh, yeah.
per month?
Depending
Or
which quarter
they
of
have
the year
quarters
it
on
is,
there.
yeah.
The renewal deadline each year is June 30th.
Okay, and there you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a short-term authorization for this group, and then they'll have to
They'll
come
be
back.
coming back right away with the
Yeah.
next couple months to go for the.
For the following
Next year.
renewal cycle.
And we as a county have no obligation for monitoring or anything like compliance, correct? That's all state-driven.
Right.
The state does seem to keep an eye on these things, but it's just up to you whether or not you want to go
Yeah, I
forward
think we
with
just
it.
read something about something in Richardson, did we not?
Nope.
On that?
I don't think it's
Beulah just
Beulah.
had out themselves a little thing going on.
Beulah.
Yeah, it wasn't small either.
I
Okay,
move for approval.
okay, thank you, Commissioner Messer, for kicking.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, to approve, Matthew Brew Post number 3 to have gaming at Green 19 Grill and Lounge. All in favor? Aye. Motion approved. Okay. We have now moved through our agenda. We are open for public comments. I believe we have a couple of folks that have filled out our sheets. Jeff Pitzik with Southwest Patriots would like to say a few words. We have, I guess, a format here, it's 3 minutes. We'll be pretty nice to you, though.
I'll be brief.
Okay.
Jeff Fitzik with Southwest Patriots here in Southwest North Dakota. Just a reminder, as election season runs up, we have 2 county commissioners up coming up. Southwest Patriots, who it does not endorse, we're simply there to educate and interface the public with people. One of the features we do at every single meeting is anybody running for any office, incumbent or somebody new throwing their hat in the ring, is welcome to present themselves to the public for 5 minutes. You don't even have to schedule with me, just show up at our meetings, and you can do that. So for anybody who's running, including at the county commission or any other position, our next meeting is March 10th. We're still at the Dickinson Eagles Club. It starts at 7 o'clock. We are doing a slightly different format because, as some of you may know, the Dickinson Eagles Club is under major renovation right now, but we're soldiering through that, so it'll be a little different format for those of you guys who've been there before. Our next meeting, we have the challenger to Representative Fedorchuk, Alex Balaz, speaking as the main education format. An extension has been offered to Mrs. Fedorchuk to be in there as well. So waiting to see if she shows up. Any questions?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, just for clarification, public comment is limited to agenda items from the last 2 meetings. So anyway, we have another one here, Miss Jody Kuntz. She has,
would like to offer some comments on the GEVO and 06 energy introduction today?
Good
Ms.
afternoon,
Kuntz.
good morning,
How are
council.
you?
Hi, I have done, as a longtime Stark County resident, grandparents settled and homesteaded Stark County. Actually, my grandfather was headlined, when he passed away, the largest landowner in Stark County. That land is still held by my family. I am very concerned about our neighbors in Stark County and who is in Stark County. Gavos has thrown up some red flags. I've done research on Gavos. One of the things Gavos has as Gavos is tied to BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. BlackRock contains 7.71% stock ownership. Vanguard is 6.46%. State Street is 3.48%. Now, why is this a concern? They are also Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. Vanguard is under the direction of Larry Fink, who is the head of the World Economic Forum. If you're not familiar with the World Economic Forum, they have an agenda. One of their proposed declarations is the Davos Manifesto. What they do as these big three, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, govern and follow under the Davos Manifesto, is they follow and they go through ESG, which is environmental, social governance, and social governance. So in short, these are the globalists that have been named that are taking stakeholder capitalism. So corporations must deliver not just to shareholders, but to society, the environment, including aggressive decarbonization. The problem I have with decarbonization, we all want to be green and friendly, right? The problem I have with that in North Dakota, namely, is that when you inject CO2 into the ground, into open pore space, it becomes the surface owners' control. The mineral owners do not have control of their open pore space. How is this open pore space created? Through the extraction of oil, which would be mineral owners. So now they're separating that. Now, once you extract your oil, you don't own that space anymore. There has been major public speculation over the land grabs that have been occurring globally by the World Economic Forum and their plans through this Davos Manifesto. The World Economic Forums are such as the Great Reset, where they want to reset the economy back to globalist control. This is all of public information available, and the research is very spot on. Net zero 2050. They want net zero carbon emissions and these carbon tax credits by 2050. Clean skies for agendas for tomorrow's initiative. We have, and RFK has come out publicly, Secretary RFK, come out publicly and stated that our air pollution, these chemtrails that are up there, are containing strontium, barium, aluminum, toxic to people's brains, not just people, all the inhabitants. And it's found in the jet fuel. I have grave concerns over what the intentions of Gavos, the World Economic Forum, Larry Fink as head of BlackRock, as a major investor, and our neighbor. Also, I did notice, because I do have a residence up at the lake, so I drove through Richardson all summer long, and still do. I have grave concerns over air quality. I found out the closest air quality monitoring station is in Dickinson. The prevailing prominent winds in North Dakota are out of the northwest. Dickinson lies west of Richardson. So how are we monitoring our air pollution for the residents of Richardson and the surrounding areas? Back to this carbon sequestration. He said it mineralizes. So as I do research and find out what the mineralization they store down and they put in along with basalt. Basalt is where you find oil. Where you find basalt, you find oil. So they're putting it down into the basalt formation, which we've established that already is where the oil is being extracted, where the mineral owners then lose their minerals. They have no mineralization finalized to date. There's one other project in the country, or in the world, I think it was, it's in here, where we have no mineralization. How long does this take? Now we have open pore space. We're putting carbon. Also, the monitoring system for carbon sequestration, most of the time is a 4D seismic. How often is this being done? Who's monitoring that? Because CO2, when it migrates, which it does and is able to, can affect water toxically. So if we have diesel hydraulic fracturing going on in the state of North Dakota, which there is, and they have been doing heavily, and we create all these fissures underground, what is stopping the CO2 from migrating into the water tables and the aquifers, which we have more than just one aquifer below our surface here. And how do we monitor that? And how do we guarantee the residents of Stark County that their livestock, their children, their elderly will be protected from carbon sequestration from Gavos and Larry Fink, Vanguard, and BlackRock? Some comments, some thoughts I would like to bring public attention to, and these are serious. These are well-researched and found and questioned by many other people across the nation. And then we talk about wind turbines. They're going to put up wind turbines out there. And then they're talking about data centers. And so where do we draw the line? He stated right away that the jet fuel process is because we need more jet fuel. There's going to be lower consumption for unleaded. Well, I don't know, but I still drive a car and I don't fly around Jetson style. Like, yeah, I know Elon came out with some flying cars the other day, but it's not in my price range. So realistically here, I think we have to look. I'm all about advancement and forward movement and innovation, but when there's carbon credits and there's carbon sequestration, and then there's, now we have minerals that are being taken from mineral owners. And as a mineral owner, I will not give up my mineral owners. I'm probably one of the very few who have never signed a lease with an oil company in this county, in this state. I'm not going to lose my minerals to open pore space after diesel hydraulic fracturing into BlackRock. So just some food for thought for the council. I really appreciate. I have posted this on to different sites, Stark County Insider, for you guys to look at the analysis that I have had done and research. It is posted. I've tagged some of you guys so you can pull it up and read it. And if there's any other information you need, I'd be more than happy to give you reliable, cited sources. So, but one thing I do ask is we really look into the air quality first and foremost in water. We have a Clean Water and Clean Air Act and the Safe Water Drinking Act as well that we need to protect our residents. I'd like to see Stark County continue for futures and people live on the earth, not robots, like the World Economic Forum's transhumanism plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Okay.
So if we're gonna do some air quality testing to the east of this plant, that would almost go into the next county, so I mean,
Or to the west. It'd be back towards,
I thought you want,
oh, well, yeah, it does blow east, yes, you're right. So it'd be close to the Morton County, but you still have, I think the Morton County line is, what is it, 13, 14 miles from Richardson?
I don't know, I mean, how far out do you have to go to do your air quality testing?
Well, that should be, I would think we should have a monitor right in town. Benzenes are the #1 endocrine system disruptor, causing brain fog, lethargy.
It's on the Richardson County shop.
Oh, is there?
Quality monitor through Perry Weather.
Okay, I apologize on that, I didn't report that when I did the searching of that.
Okay. All right. Any other comments? Thank you, everyone. I would look for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Motion approved. Meeting adjourned.